everybody. Welcome. It's Stephen Mead with Domicile Real Estate. Um, One of the coolest things that can happen if you're a homeowner is getting that call or getting that email where you are asked to be on an architectural home tour. And some of you already know this, but I've been working on a house here in Long Beach designed by architect Paul Tay for a couple of years now. It's still a work in progress, and I thought what might be fun is kind of show you guys sort of what goes on behind the scenes. And I'm going to call this series Trail to the Tour. And what I wanted to do today was just give you a brief introduction, kind of introduce you to the house, kind of show you around a little bit so you can kind of see what projects we're going to be working on. So we're going to have some fun today, and follow me. One of the cool things about this house is that you enter from the street and you cross this bridge like you see here leading up to the house. So if you'll follow me, I'll show you the tour begins right now. We have a little bit of a waterfall over here. It's not running right now. Maybe I should have turned that on for this, but it does run. And this house is actually pretty unique because you enter on the second level of the house. So follow me and we'll take a look inside. We're actually standing in the entryway, and this is really what made me fall in love with this house. You'll notice behind me we have a metal staircase. So this house actually has four distinct levels. I'm actually going to take you on all of them, so you'll get to see them. But one thing I wanted to do is just step inside here and take a look up. Pretty cool, huh? And that's what made me fall in love with this house. Right off here, we have a powder room that's located right where you walk in the door, and it's just a pretty standard. It's just a pretty standard bathroom, like nothing super special. But it does have the original cabinetry from the house, and this house has a very unique feature. I don't know if you can really see from here, but the toilets are actually hung on the wall. So the toilets don't sit on the floor like a normal house. They are hung on a wall, kind of more like you'd find like in an office building, and it means you can sweep and you can clean the floor underneath them, which I think is pretty cool. And now we're going to take a look. Once you walk in, we're going to head to the living room. It's the afternoon sun right now, so we've got our shades down over here since this house faces west. This is an area of the house where we've already done a good amount of work. Pretty much everything in this room has been done except for the windows and the floors. The floors we're actually set to do here. We'll have another episode where we can talk a little bit about that. But we've smoothed out all the walls. We've actually added recessed lighting. The fan is new. We've done really quite a bit of work. The other cool thing, and I'm gonna have the camera spin around here, is to take a look at the fireplace, which is one of the cooler elements of this house. It's one of the things that I really liked about this house too when I bought it. And one of the other cool things about the fireplace is there are actually three fireplaces in this house. So we're going to see all three of them, but they're right on top of each other, and they're all sort of identical versions of the same fireplace stacked up on each floor. Let's take a look at the dining room and the kitchen. I've always thought the dining room is pretty cool in this house. It's definitely one of the rooms that I think always had a good feel. Today, it's a bit hazy, but normally you can see Palos Verdes Peninsula here. This is also a much bigger dining room than I thought it was. So when I moved in here, I came from a Cliff May home, which is a much smaller house, and you kind of have to have everything in miniature sizes. And I came with a table that held four people, and it looked really, really tiny in this dining room. And now, so this table is eight people, and really, it could be even a lot bigger than that. Spin around, and I'll show you the kitchen. There's a lot of glass in this kitchen, and I've always thought that's something really cool. You also notice there's a deck off here, and there's actually decks off almost every single room in this house. And you see we've got some new appliances. The kitchen is a project that we are working on prior to the home tour. We're pretty much going right down to the studs. This is not the original kitchen for this house. The house was built in 1969. We think the kitchen was done sometime in the 80s. We're not really sure exactly, but pretty much it's a disaster and it's going, and we're going to talk about it in another episode. And now, if you follow me, we're going to head downstairs, which is actually an area that you walked over when you came in, and that's where the bedrooms are located. One of the things that I've always loved is kind of how this space is really on multiple levels. So nothing in this house is just a room or just a hallway or just anything. Every space has its own unique feel and purpose. So even this, which is really just a hallway that leads to the bedrooms, there's kind of a unique feel to it. We put some cool artwork on the walls here. And I'm going to take you down into my domain, and that is the master bedroom. Come on, let's go. This house is kind of unique because it has views, but yet the master bedroom is actually not located on the top floor where the views are. It's located here on the bottom. And I've always thought that was a really interesting design choice by the architect. At first, I thought, how can I change this? How can I move the master bedroom upstairs where all the views are? And then once I lived in the house, I realized there was something amazing about putting the bedroom here. And that is in a house that is wide open with tons of glass everywhere, there's not always the feeling of privacy. And yet, this bedroom has a way to still have a ton of glass, but also feel really private. And it's a good sized room, but it's not huge. And I think the current trend, in home design is to make these massive master bedroom houses. This house is 2,700 square feet. If it were built today, it would have a much bigger master bedroom than this. But this is a king size bed. It's plenty big. And, I'm really a fan of having the public spaces of the house be the bigger spaces. I mean, does anybody really want to have a living room built into their master bedroom? I don't think so. I've never met anybody who really wanted that. So I'm kind of glad that I don't have that. And you'll see I have a little friend here. She's just checking things out. So say hi to Minnie if you're there through your TV. See, she's showing off for the camera. She wants to show everybody that she's in control of her toys. And if you turn right around, you'll see we have another fireplace in here. This one's very similar to the one upstairs. This one we have glass in it. It's pretty cool. And I'll show you the master bathroom. This is a space that we've actually already done. So it's been remodeled already. I kept the original teak and mahogany cabinetry. Actually, I don't know which one it is, whether it's teak or mahogany. But I wanted to keep something from the original because I felt like that really went with the house, and I didn't want to just gut everything. Um, I mainly kept the layout exactly the same. I just sort of tweaked it a little bit, added heated floors. One of the elements you see in this house is this material behind me. If you're looking, you might be wondering, is this a light or what is this? It's not a light. What it is it's a special type of fiberglass panel, and it's double layer. And the architect spec this so that it would allow sort of natural light to filter into the house in the corners, which usually get dark, but do it in a way that offered complete privacy as well. And now I'm going to show you the backyard, which in this house is really the front yard, but we still call it the backyard, and I'll tell you why. This is still a work in progress. We have a lot of landscaping going on. You'll notice we have the stock tank pool. It is the beginning of March right now when we're filming this, so not really using it at the moment, but it's just kind of nice to have something to cool off in. And I've never really liked the look of above ground pools because I think they look really sketchy and really cheesy. So got this idea. We have some landscaping, some things. We'll probably do another episode on that. These bamboo down here behind me, they're giant timber bamboo, so they're going to grow 40, 50, maybe even 60 feet tall. This is kind of their first spring, so pretty excited. We're hoping to see some new shoots, some new culms go up. I'm going to take a step back so you can get a look back at the house because I think it's pretty cool. One of the neat things about this house is that in the summertime, this yard area is almost always shady. So even if it's hot, even if it's really warm out, you can almost always come back out here and relax. Now I'm going to take you guys up to the third floor, which is the part I've done the least amount of work to and probably will do the least amount before the tour, but I want to be complete and show it to you. So let's take a look. As you might imagine, you get quite the calf and leg workout living in this house. We're on the third floor, so we actually still have another level and another set of stairs above us. The plan for this room, I've never really seen the blueprint, so I don't know what it's called. I use it to have a pool table and some random stuff. This is probably the part of the house where I've done the least amount of work. You know, I think for me, I really want to think about what I want as a purpose for this space. Right now, I use it as a work area. Um, there's yet another fireplace, so it's our third fireplace is up here. You can see it's great as a storage area. We have the same tile floor throughout the whole house, and then my office is up here as well. This is my office. It's actually pretty big. It's directly above the kitchen. I haven't done anything in here. I really just moved my desk, moved my computer in here. But one of the things I love about this space is it's super bright. It makes filming videos a little tricky, a little difficult, but it's so nice to work in a bright space. And if you look right behind you, in fact, I'll take you out there. We can go outside. This is yet another deck on this house. We have tons of decks that are here. If you look behind me, I don't know if it'll show up in the video, but it's actually downtown Long Beach. We have Palos Verdes Peninsula out there. Obviously, the higher you go in the house, the better the views get. I have plans to redo the railings. Obviously, we've got a lot of work to do on this level, and it's probably going to be the last thing I do work on, mainly because this is the space that, aside from having my desk, it's the place that I use the least often. But now I'll take you up to the fourth level, and we can take a look up there. Actually, I'm gonna pause for a second because this is this cool little hidden space. If you notice, we just went through like a teeny little walkway. Um, one of the cool things about this house is because it's not just a box with rooms in it, is you have all these weird little spots and little areas that people wonder how do you get to that spot. So we got some cool artwork planned for this space. I think it's going to be up before the tour. And then we also have another full bath up here, and this is the blue bath. I'm going to call it because it's blue. It also has something that's really kind of unique. I think we're going to tilt the camera and see if we do it. The tub is sunk, so it actually has a lowered tub, which is kind of cool. And then let me take you upstairs. Watch your step. Um, Originally, this railing had been removed in the house, so we had the railing custom remade and new railing actually made to match. We took a piece of the old railing since we didn't have it, and they custom fabricated a copy of it just for us that we've installed. We still need to trim it and stain it to match the rest of the railings. Same up here, and then let's see if this door is open and we can take a look outside on the roof. When you're up here, you definitely get a feel for the perspective. Downtown Long Beach is out that way, of course. Port of Long Beach. You can't really see it today, but we got San Pedro, Palos Verdes Peninsula. Anyhow, just wanted to give you guys a brief introduction. So when we revisit some of these spaces for projects, I think the kitchen video is probably going to come out first, or at least a kitchen video. You'll kind of know the spaces we're talking about. Anyhow, hope you've enjoyed this. Questions, comments, I'll try to answer them. And yeah, we'll see you next time.